What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Seattle Supersonics MyNBA expansion series. Last time out, we went through the trade deadline here in Season 1, made a couple moves, let go of DeLon Wright and Buddy Hield. In return, we got Jevon Carter, Ayo Dosunmu, and Coby White. Unfortunately, a few of those guys are injured now, so we're going to be without them for the remainder of the season. At least Jevon Carter, he might return around the last few weeks of the year. But after our simulation in the last episode, we're definitely not in the playoff race anymore. We're sitting at 12 in, or at the 12 seed in the Western Conference. It's going to be tough for us to even make a chance or a run to even get into the play-in tournament, so I'm not going to be hoping for that. But as you can see, this is the starting lineup we're rocking with. Killian Hayes getting the start as we traded away DeLon Wright. Everything else pretty much the same. Coby White will jump into that shooting guard position. Then off the bench, we're going to keep having Cam Reddish, Nas Little, Ayo Dosunmu, Moses Brown, and Brandon Boston Jr. As you can see, a couple major injuries down there to some veteran guys, unfortunately. Not like they were going to have a major impact, but we are going to be taking on the other expansion team today, the Vancouver Blizzard. They went a little bit of a different direction than us. They actually went for a veteran team. They're one of the older teams in the NBA if you look at the average age on their rosters. So it's going to be interesting to see a little bit of a dichotomy there, the difference between two philosophies. As the Blizzards start the day here in Climate Pledge Arena with the ball, Mike Conley is a veteran point guard, so let's see how well he matches up against a young team like the Sonics. He's going to start the day exploiting some youth or lack of knowledge, getting right to the basket. He's going to get the layup to go. It's 2-0 starting off today. Killian Hayes wasn't the starter for most of the year, got the nod from head coach Milan Mack ever since we traded away DeLon Wright. Let's see what he does with it. He's going to give it to Coby White. First shot on an episode as a Sonic is no good. And that's going to lead to a 4-2 start for the Blizzard. They are up. Conley's going to be their main ball handler. He's going to dish it down to Drummond, and he slams it home. Andre Drummond trying to turn back the clock, trying to get himself a big contract. Gordon Hayward now heavily contested mid-range jumper. He's another guy trying to get back on track, just trying to find himself a major contract with another team, seeing if he can get back to his all-star form. Isaiah Joe now in the corner. Gordon Hayward couldn't get around the screen, and KCP didn't help him out. So after a slow start, the Sonics are down 14-5. Coby White with the ball. KCP's a good on-ball defender. Instead, he's going to dish it down to Joe again at the top of the key. He's going to hit the three, and that one's going to get this to a 14-8 ball game. Drummond in the paint, muscling his way up. He's going to miss the layup instead. Rebound by Coby White. Off in transition. Ayo to Little out to Joe. He didn't pull it. I thought he was going to pull that one immediately. Instead, they're going to reset a little bit. Now Joe going to jab step. He's going to pull up with a hand in his face, and he hits it. 9 points early in this one. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was right there. And instead, Isaiah Joe still hits it. This time, though, again, going right at KCP. Coby White with the nice spin move in transition. That's going to make it 16-15 as they fall all the way back. Only down by one now. Coby White, not the greatest defender, but he's going to be tasked with guarding KCP. No help by Hartenstein. And Kentavious Caldwell-Pope's going to hit the three, 26-20 here late in this first quarter. This is one of these games that doesn't really have a major impact on the season as Coby White's pass is deflected, or Ayo Dosunmu's pass is deflected, and Dennis Schroeder with the one-handed slam. This game doesn't really have an impact on the overall season, but it's just one of those games you love to win as we see Ayo Dosunmu in the corner. He's going to kick it out to Nas Little off the pick and fade. He's going to go outside, back out to the three-point land, and it's no good. Now a chance for the Blizzard to end the first quarter with a bucket. Gary Payton II gives it to Schroeder. Contested three is good. Dennis Schroeder with 1.6 left on the clock. The Sonics don't even shoot it, and they are going to be down 31-22 in this first quarter. They were down a whole lot more, so they were able to make it competitive there with a little bit of a run at the midway part of that first quarter. As you can see, Killian Hayes are going to be overachieving that one or over-pursuing that one. He's going to leave a man wide open. And Dennis Schroeder, a nice job off the bench for this Blizzard team. Another veteran point guard for them. Schroeder's a guy I would not mind to have on the roster going into next year as we see Killian Hayes trying to run this offense with Isaiah Joe out of the game. Hayes is going to hit a nice mid-range jumper. Both of our main scorers are out of the game right now in Nas Little and Isaiah Joe as we see Maxi Kleba. He's going to miss the layup, so the Blizzard need to take advantage of this time with both of our top scorers out of the game. Dennis Schroeder in the corner over there. Mike Conley's going to slow it down. He's going to go around Hayes, and the nice left-handed layup. He's going to put it up and in. Now he makes it a 10-point ball game for the Sonics. Killian Hayes going to go to Cam Reddish. He's going to hit the three. Cam Reddish, one of those guys that you just love to have on your roster now. 42-33 after that one. Hartenstein's going to hit it to Reddish, who's cutting and throwing it down. He has so much bottled up athleticism, and he just needs to find a consistent offensive role. Cam Reddish struggles to stay consistent on offense, and that's why he's still coming off the bench. But when he comes in, he can definitely make an impact. We're going to see Brandon Boston Jr. guarding Dennis Schroeder. Schroeder's going to get right by him, and it's been a tough few weeks for Brandon Boston Jr. He has kind of fell completely out of the lineup as we are still down by 10. Nasir Little, right around 3 minutes remaining. It's going to be a screen by Little. Isaiah Joe left open again. Hitting it again. His fourth three-point make of the day. That is exclusively what he's here to do. This time, though, as expected, the mid-range does not fall. That man is a three-point specialist. Mike Conley now spinning through the contact and up over both Hayes and Isaiah Joe. So this Sonics team is struggling to get defensive stops. We're going to see Nas Little get an opportunity off the pick and pop. He's got 8 points here in this first half. We're now in the final minute, 54-50. Kobe White guarding Kentavious Caldwell-Pope out to an open. Olynyk misses it. Deflected rebound goes to Nas Little. Killian Hayes in transition trying to run. Goes to Kobe White, who goes to Hartenstein on the give and go, and iHeart's going to slam it down. Now down by 2, 54-52. Kobe White's spin move. Can't get anything going there. He's going to let the offense reset. Isaiah Joe double team. Cross court pass to Sunmu. Ayo's going to hit the three. And that's going to give us a 1-point lead with 4 seconds left. Gordon Hayward rushing up the court. The three ball is no good. And the Sonics fight back from down at 1 point, 14 in that first quarter. They now have a 1-point lead starting the second half as Nasir Little in the corner hits the three. He's got 13 on the day. Isaiah Joe has 15, leading the way for the Sonics. That three, unfortunately, heavily contested. Not a great shot selection there for Isaiah Joe. We're going to see Mike Conley off to the races. He's being guarded by Moses Brown, who leaves his man in transition, who Andre Drummond was kind of trailing everybody behind, and instead he gets a wide open layup. So Ayo Dosunmu trying to run this offense. He's going to kick it down to Drummond, past Drummond to Brown, and Moses Brown with the nice grab, the nice pump fake, gets Drummond to just freeze, and a nice reverse slam by the young center. Now as we see it late in this, about midway through the third quarter, Kobe White misses the layup. An easy shot there is blown away. Now down by 166-65. Hayward in traffic is going to get his ball back. He's going to kick it out to Conley. The contested mid-range jumper is good. Mike Conley has 20 points. He's shooting 60% from the field as we see Killian Hayes and company down by 3 now. Hayes is going to get the screen from Hartenstein. He's going to drive to the basket. Nice layup for Killian Hayes. He's got 8, 3, and 4. A solid showing for the starting point guard as we see Brandon Boston Jr. back in the game, guarded by the smaller Conley. Can't get the layup to go instead, though he gets his own rebound. He's going to get the ball back. Brandon Boston fakes it, pump fakes, gives it out to Hayes. Hayes on the right corner, right inside the three-point line. And Killian Hayes, a couple of baskets in this third quarter. He has 10 now on the afternoon. Brandon Boston, final minute's going to get stripped as we're down by 3. Dennis Schroeder slows it down. Probably could have went a little bit more aggressive there, but he's going to take his time, and he's going to run the clock down. Dennis Schroeder pull up at the top of the paint, and that one is good. 77-72 for this Sonics team. They have battled this whole day as Ayo Dosunmu spin move up and through the contact, and one opportunity for Ayo. He has 5, possibly 6 right now. 5 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists. Make it 6 points for Ayo. That's going to bring it back down to a 2-point ball game as we are in the fourth quarter, as it is 79-75. They're going to go to Santa Claus. He's going to not shoot the 3. Passes up the open shot just to get it back to Schroeder, who has been on fire. I don't even blame him. Schroeder's going to get the screen. He's going to go to Nance, who slipped it. And Moses Brown tried to go over the screen to help. He tried to hedge it, but instead Larry Nance smart to slip the screen. And that's going to give them an 81-75 lead now about the beginning of this fourth quarter. Moses Brown down low, throwing it down. The young center has had some success today against Larry Nance. He's a little bit taller than him, a good bit taller, I should say. So he's having a little bit of his success there in the paint. And his abilities are showing as Moses Brown rejects the layup attempt by Larry Nance Jr. As you can see, he is having a coming out party here late in this season. A beautiful rejection for Moses Brown. Still down 83-77, though, despite the rim protection. Schroeder now driving. He's going to kick it back out. He's going to start over again, working on Killian Hayes. Not the greatest defender, but Hayes standing his ground against Schroeder. He's going to have to go out to Aldama. Aldama is going to kick it to Nance, who kicks it to Schroeder, who kicks it back to Nance, and a beautiful display of passing for the Blizzard as Killian Hayes trying to get this team back into the game. We've got our starting lineup in, plus Nasir Little. Hayes going to go down low to Hartenstein. Pump fake, can't get the layup. A chance now to extend it to 10. KCP in transition, stops for 3. It's good by Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. And the Sonics and Milan Mack is going to call a timeout as Isaiah Joe and company are looking for a response. 93-81, down by 12 now. Late in this fourth quarter, the 3 is no good. Thankfully, Nasir Little gets the rebound, so they have another chance here to kick it back out. Killian Hayes running the pick and pop with Little. Little spreading outside, and it's good for 3. 93-84, make it 99-90 here late in this fourth quarter. Every push by the Sonics just keeps getting repelled by the Blizzard. They do a great job of responding. This time, Killian Hayes looking for 3. He doesn't shoot those very often, but that one falls, and it is a good job there by Killian Hayes to relocate and find the open area on the court. A double team here is going to leave Kelly Olynyk open in transition. The mid-range jumper is good. As you can see, something about the Sonics defense just not being able to string together a bunch of stops, and they're struggling. Nas Little, the final 30 seconds, though, makes it a 4-point game. So they're battling back into this one. They're trying their best to stay in it as Isaiah Joe's corner 3 is no good. Kobe White gets the rebound back out to Joe. This one's long from mid-range, unfortunately. His feet were in front of the line, now down by 6 still. Nasir Little going to pull up from the corner, and he hits it again. What a display of shooting by the Sonics. Mike Conley misses one. It's a 4-point ball game, 109-113. Kobe White doesn't shoot it. Running a lot of time off the clock. Nobody open. Killian Hayes, no good. Probably wouldn't have mattered anyways, but a clutch defensive possession there in transition. That could have cut it down to 1 with a chance to tie it on the next possession after free throws. Nobody got open. The defense did a great job of leaving the most unreliable three-point shooter open the most, and Killian Hayes just could not make it. Isaiah Joe, though, had a good day, 24-5. He shot very well, right under 50% from the field. Nasir Little shot over 50% from the field and the three-point ball. 24 for him, 16, 9, and 2 for Hartenstein. Killian Hayes had 13, 3, and 5. Kobe White struggled in our first game with him, but I was happy with what I saw generally from Kobe White. On the other side of the ball, Mike Conley had 27 and 7. He was just so good. Not really great from 3, 2 of 6. But they didn't need him to be. Dennis Schroeder was very good with 23 and 5. KCP was very good with 22 and 6. And that was just a disappointing loss. As you can see, we're just going to go ahead and simulate through the rest of February. We've only got a few days left, and then we're going to simulate through March and see what happens with this team going into April. As there's a very unlikely chance that we're going to make the play-in tournament right now. No contracts we can extend. Everybody is pretty much on an expiring contract except for like Kobe White, I believe. Montrezl Harrell now should be back in the rotation. Isaiah Hartenstein, a bit of an ankle sprain, but he should be back just fine. Yeah, he's healed already. As we see Kobe White bruise his hip. I'm excited for him going forward, but he wasn't that great in this first game we played with him. But that's just going to be one of those things where he's got to get comfortable with the offense and the rotations that Milan Mack runs. Assuming Milan Mack is going to be our coach for the future. Javon Carter back from his injury. That's a good sign to see for the veteran point guard. Don't know if he'll be back next year, but it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up no matter what. Kobe White is healed up now as we are in the final stretch of March. Suns, we get a win there over the powerhouse Suns. That's a shocking one. We get a win over the Spurs, a win over the Magic. Nice run there, as they also get a win over the Knicks. So they go off 4 in a row. And unfortunately, that ends on the final day of March. Despite the 4 wins, though, they're sitting at 35-40. So not out of the realm of possibility that they make the play-in tournament, but I wouldn't say it's very likely. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NBA standings. It is looking like they are still 3 games behind the 10 seed. That's probably not going to be a recipe for making it into the play-in tournament. We will end up playing our final game next episode, as you guys will see. We're going to take on the Trailblazers. I figured it'd be fun to see or get a chance to watch or see Scoot Henderson play. We haven't played them yet in that young roster with DeAndre Ayton, Anthony Simons, all of them. Simons obviously didn't get hurt in this reality. But before we end this episode, I am going to actually do my first introduction to the draft class for this season. And since we're down here at the very end of the season, I figured what better time than to introduce the top 15 projected first-round picks. We're going to be going off of the 2K ranks. These can vary a whole lot. As you can see, this guy right here, ranked number 9 by 2K, ranked 27th by NBA.com, and 35th by the Sporting News big board. But there's a few guys that are like that, a few guys that really have a big range. But I figured let's go ahead and take a look at the first round draft picks. We're going to start out with Ricardo Chavez out of Nevada, the 18-year-old 6'5" point guard. Obviously, you're going to be good or have potential if you're getting comparisons to Tony Parker already out of college. This guy is a floor general. He can shoot the 3. Great defense for his size. Really doesn't have that big of a weakness. I mean, his shooting could be a little bit more consistent. As you can see, he's averaging 22 points per game, 7.5 assists in college, 38%, basically 39% from 3, and 43% from the field in 29 games played. This guy is very good if you want a starting point guard. Unfortunately, right now, we're not in the top part of the lottery with our record. So getting a guy like Ricardo Chavez is going to be a tough thing to do. Next up, we have DJ Malone, 21-year-old shooting guard out of UCLA. DJ's averaging 22.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3.5 steals. No, 3.2 steals. He's shooting fairly okay from the three-point land, 34% and 40% from the field overall. He is a Hall of Fame potential, according to most scouts in the NBA. A good athletic shooting guard who can hit the ball hit the deep ball and hit the mid-range shots, and he's just a good defender as well. As you can see, he is a two-way inside the arc finisher, but do not let his three-point shooting scare you. He is still a very reliable three-point shooter. Now we get into our first of a few 7-foot centers. We've got Carson Barker out of Oregon State. A couple of odd schools. This guy's a 4-year college vet, 22 years old. Comparisons to Yao Ming just because of his height, but also Pau Gasol. He can spread the floor a little bit, not like outstandingly well. He's not going to be a Steph Curry out there, but this guy can shoot very well for a center, and his defensive and rebounding ability is very good at 7 feet tall. Same with Aaron Harris. Aaron Harris out of UNLV. He's much younger and a little bit taller, but he has Bam Adebayo potential, which means he's just going to be a lockdown defender and really needs to develop his athleticism, his change of motion. Being able to lead an offense is something that Aaron Harris has struggled to do. So that's what he could really improve on. But then we have Ellis Wesley, who's just pretty much very similar to Carson Barker, just the same age, the same height, but he's out of a much smaller school in Evansville. He's getting Yao Ming comparisons, Paul Gasol, just the same as Carson Barker. He's a good defender, a good post presence, and also decent from the three-point land for a 7-foot center. Now we're going to get back to the shooting guard, point guard position. We have Lawrence Reed, the 21-year-old shooting guard, point guard hybrid out of Gonzaga. He has comparisons to Mighty Mouse Damon Stoudemire, an all-star point guard, shooting guard in the NBA during his prime. Lou Williams as well. This guy is a bucket. He's going to hit three-point shots. He's going to hit mid-range shots, and hopefully he can develop his paint game. Hopefully he can develop his defense, but as a top 10 pick, he is going to be seen as an elite three-point shooter. Next up, we've got Devin Atkins, a 21-year-old 6'2 shooting guard. He's a little smaller than you would like your point guards to be, but he's got a good ability to get around the paint and get past taller guys, and a decent floor general. This guy's averaging 16 points per game, over 10 assists. He's having 11 assists, 2 steals per game, and he's shooting very well, 43% from 3 and 42% from the field out of Florida. Devin Atkins definitely can be a good point guard for whoever drafts him. Next up, we've a guy out of Greece, if I could speak, Lambros Papadopoulos. If I could pronounce it, it's probably Papadopoulos. And he is a 19-year-old, 6'9 power forward, small forward, probably leaning more towards small forward out of Greece. He's played for the national team. He's played in a couple of under 20 tournaments, and he's been pretty impressive, averaging 20 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 3 assists, a steal, shooting 43% from the field and 38% from 3. Papadopoulos is projected in the lottery and also late first-round pick by NBA.com. So this guy has big boom or bust potential there. Same thing with another foreign player, Radoslav Turk out of Slovenia. He is a 20-year-old shooting guard at 6'6". He's averaging 19 points per game, 4.7 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. Shooting not the greatest for a guy that is playing professionally overseas. 39% from the field, 31% from 3. And that's considered one of his strengths is defense and three-point shooting. Radoslav has very big boom or bust potential. He's projected as low as 35 and as high as number 9 in the draft. This guy has a very large range. And I do think there's a world where he falls that low. And if he does, I wouldn't be opposed to taking him in that second round. Next up at number 10 projected, we have Lawrence Mills. Mills is a shooting guard out of Santa Clara, another smaller school, but he's 18 years old, and he has been very good. 24 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.6 steals, almost a block a game at 6'5" is good. 420%, so 42% from the field and 40% from 3. Lawrence Mills is a great three-point shooter, a great defender. I don't know if I'd say great, but he uses his athleticism to be a above-average defender there at Santa Clara. Next up, we have Christian Booker, the number 19, 22-year-old point guard, shooting guard out of North Carolina. The Tar Heels point guard led them to a national championship last season. This year, they haven't played as well, but he's playing pretty doggone good. 21 points per game, 3 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 1 steal, 45% from the field, and 40% from 3. Christian Booker, just going to be a good scorer inside out, as you can see, is his hybrid or his mold there. This guy can score at every level. He's athletic for 6'3", and do expect him to come in and contribute immediately at 22 years old. Next up, we have Alton Kelly, 21 years old, out of Wyoming, 6'1" point guard. Obviously, he's shorter, very similar to the way that Christian Booker plays. This guy is a score first, pass second point guard, and he can do that at a very very high level, and inside, outside, mid-range, all around the court. Really needs to work on his defense and his playmaking, but he does make up for that with his scoring ability. Next up, we have Terrell Nance, a 7-foot center out of Dayton. He is 23 years old, so he's one of the older players in the draft, but he's still very good. Despite the old age. Dave Cohen's is a good description or comparison. He is a very good rebounder, a very good paint player. He's going to protect the paint. He's going to score in the paint. Don't expect him really to go outside and hit 3 balls too much, so that's not his strength at all. But he is so far averaging 16 points per game and basically 15 rebounds, as well as over 3 blocks a game there out of Dayton. Next up, we have James Owen out of Georgetown, the 18-year-old small forward, averaging about 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2 steals, almost 3 blocks at 6'10". This guy is very, very promising for anybody who's looking for a taller but still fast and athletic small forward shooting guard guy. He's only shooting 29% from 3, but 50% from the field overall. Still showing promise there. And I think this guy, if he gets his three-point shot going, his mid-range shot going, he's definitely going to have a spot in the NBA. And finally, out of the first 15, I'm going to take a look at Freddie Smart, another 7-foot center. This guy however, is out of Australia. He's got comparisons to Miles Turner and Rick Mahorn. He's a good on-ball defender on the perimeter for his size. Good shot blocking ability and rebounding, but definitely needs to work on the offensive side of things. Still, been very good in Australia. Professional ball, 40% from three, 47% from the field, averaging about 16 points per game, 12 rebounds, and about 5 blocks a game. So very, very good. Next episode, before the final game of the season, we will take a look at the last half of this first round projection. And then the final episode before that, we are going to take a look at everybody. A couple more guys there in that second round. As always, though, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. It was an exciting game against the Blizzard. We are going to finish the year off next episode against the Trailblazers. I hope you guys all will stay tuned and check out that episode. Thank you guys for joining me here. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload. I'll catch you all next time. Everybody have a great rest of your day.